Glenwood Springs. I'm Brianna Starbuck, Public Information Officer for the City of Glenwood Springs. I'm excited to show you a behind-the-scenes look at what it takes to keep our hometown and our beautiful community running smoothly. Behind every city project is a group of dedicated professionals who are expertly trained in their field to serve you, residents of Glenwood Springs. With the support from our enthusiastic City Council and experienced city leadership, we are able to tackle all the unique challenges that come with running a full-service city.
We're made up of 5 different divisions. We have the opportunity to touch people's lives in positive ways every single day.
The community center is a 65,000 square foot facility that houses a gymnasium, a swimming pool, an ice rink, climbing wall, a bunch of different things and recreational opportunities.
At the Community Art Center on 6th Street, we have a clay studio and arts and culture programs. Across our facilities and parks, the city also organizes event rentals, special events, athletics programs, and therapeutic rec activities.
We have 16 dedicated parks, over 3,500 acres of open space, 20 plus miles of hardscape trails, 20 plus miles of single track soft trails. We have 2 cemeteries. We were responsible for the downtown core area.
On any given day, our park staff could be planting flowers or pruning trees or pulling weeds, or they could be picking up trash or taking care of an unhoused encampment or cleaning up messes.
We have been spending 80% of our time cleaning restrooms, picking up trash, and the volume of people in our outdoor spaces continues to grow.
So in the spring of 2024, we put out a needs assessment survey to gather the feedback from our community about what they wanted to see from Parks and Recreation. What we're going to do with this information is prioritize our improvements to our current facilities, look at future facilities, and plan out our capital budget for the next 5 to 7 years.
Most of the playgrounds in our community are 20 years or older, and they're starting to get to the end of their useful life. And so we were fortunate to be able to be funded here in 2024 to replace the playground area at Gregory Park. Water conservation is a really important element of our operation. We look at all of our amenities and try to determine where we need turf that takes irrigation and where we can have more native plant material.
The Gardens and Forestry page has a lot of resources that help residents understand what water smart landscaping is. The demonstration garden helps residents understand what species can work for them in our area. Soon we're going to have signs installed that talk about these different species, talk about why we want to conserve water. I'd really like to see us be able to invest more of our park staff time in taking care of the natural resource assets and also expanding upon those assets and creating equitable access to everybody.
Park and recreation matters because community matters. And we give people the opportunity to recreate. Our whole goal is to create a place for the community to go where they all belong, no matter who you are, how old you are, what you're into. It's a place for everyone to belong.
Within the Community Development Department, we have the Planning Division. We also have our Building Department, Economic Development, and we have Neighborhood Services.
Planning is a way to shape a vision that the community has for the built environment. We adopted a new comprehensive plan last year in 2023, and it lays out kind of the vision for what we want to do.
We want the community to have a voice in the vision and how we implement the vision. We have a lot of criteria that we're looking at to make sure a development not only looks nice, but functions and fits well within the city. If you've ever built a house or wanted to build a deck or install new windows, that's what our building department is most involved with.
We're also looking at the big picture and trying to balance the needs of the many versus the few, and property rights versus the rights of everybody in the community and rights of passerby.
We can certainly encourage types of industries to locate within Glenwood Springs, but we don't have control over who necessarily wants to come and start a business here. We cannot force anyone to do anything that isn't in their best interest as well. The Safeway lot where there was an active grocery store That lot has been vacant for several years. That is a private property parcel. So we want to make sure whatever comes in there is going to fit in with the fabric of the community. We're also actively working in regional efforts around housing, as we've seen that we can have a greater impact and influence if we're working on a regional basis. Accessory dwelling units is a hot topic in housing, so we've made accessory dwelling units more permissive to be able to build because we identify them as providing a community benefit. Vacation rentals is something that this department handles all of the permitting process for. We're implementing a new system for intake of permits that is going to be much more transparent to our community and to the public.
Our new system is going to allow you to apply for everything online and also be able to see the status of things online. They will have more of an idea of what they've done, what they need to do, fees that are coming up that they need to account for. And we think it'll be just generally more efficient.
Being in the planning industry, all of us here are very proud to see a community that people love to live in.
We are a team of 27 sworn officers. We have a total support staff of 7 civilian positions. We're staffed 24 hours. We are practicing 21st century policing concepts, industry standards, best practices in law enforcement. We do spend a lot of money and time investing in our officers and our training regimen. We are able to respond to changes in that regimen depending on community demands and standards. We have anywhere from 3 to 4 officers on per day. They handle day-to-day calls for service. We're anywhere from 23 to 24,000 calls per service per year. Our contact with homeless or unhoused individuals is probably something that we deal with mostly every single day. Driving under the influence investigations are extraordinarily prevalent. I want people to feel comfortable about engaging with us and working together to figure out issues. The community will start to hear a little bit more about our Community Police Academy, where they have the opportunity to come in and understand law enforcement operations, why we do what we do, what situations require this type of response. We have great working relationship with our fire department, our other city departments, and our community supports us like no other.
Glenwood Springs Fire is an all-hazard organization. 65 to 70% of what we do are emergency medical services in our own ambulances. We also do trail rescue, technical rescue, swift water rescue on our 2 rivers. We have 24 career line firefighters. We also are augmented by 16 to 20 part-time firefighters. And then there's the administrative support personnel and prevention bureau.
Within the fire code, there's some stipulations as what we have to do as the fire department. Part of that is an annual inspection program of all our commercial occupancies. We have the Big Meadows project where we have 13 buildings going up on the hillside. Those buildings are going to require multiple inspections, how those fire trucks are going to be able to get in, where those hydrants are going to be located, and then where the building service features are going to be located within the building. We have 12 schools that we are inspecting. And then we have over a dozen other daycare and other specialty educational places. Our next big goal is to go through all of our hotels.
We are rolling out a new evacuation plan for the city, which is a more efficient and effective way to request for and process an evacuation, but also work with other law enforcement agencies and public works and street department to help control critical intersections along evacuation routes. One of the biggest ways we keep people safe is thousands of personnel hours in training every single year to keep up with all these requirements our firefighters have.
Firefighting is a passion of mine. I think any firefighter that you meet is going to share that passion, and you see that sense of drive.
I'm in charge of multiple departments. The streets department, fleet department, landfill, water, wastewater, electric, broadband, and engineering. And we implemented a broadband program a few years ago, and now we have fiber to home capabilities with our broadband service to every citizen within the city.
We are fortunate to have our own electric utility so that, the council can direct and we can control our rates a little better for our customers. Trying to keep our rates as low as we can. We have 2 meter techs, 1 admin, and 8 linemen. We have a lot of different things going on. So we do street lights, secondary services to all commercial, residential, all construction projects. In addition to maintaining the electric system, we do a lot of construction as well with developer projects and our own capital projects. What we're really focusing on right now is the electrification of America. So we have a lot of EV stations coming on board. Codes are changing to go all electric. Those are going to be huge impacts to the system.
We provide water for the entire city of Glenwood Springs and even outside of it in some cases, domestic and raw water.
This is a conventional water treatment plant. So we have a pre-treatment building and then we have a filter building. That's a process that's going 24/7, 365 days a year.
I have a distribution crew that serves the whole town, gets the water to everybody. And then after that, we have wastewater collection. So we take the water back from everybody and bring it to the wastewater treatment plant, treat it again, and put it back in the Colorado River. All this gets done for a city of 10,000 people with a crew of 20 people. We have one of the best water qualities in the state as far as untreated water and treated water. Our responsibility here is water quality first, water quantity second, for the fact that our fire protection system in town is set up on treated water fire hydrants. Most of the fire hydrants in town are on domestic water. I'm very proud of the continuous service that we provide and the quality of the service that we provide.
We run landfill operations, recycling operations, and composting. We also run the Downtown Recycle Center. We applied for a grant through the USDA to get money to expand our composting pad to about double the size to about 2 acres, which will double our capacity to about 16,000 to 20,000 tons per year.
With our new pay-as-you-throw program, we are pulling as much recycling out as possible.
We're trying to save space in our landfill because building permitted landfill space is very expensive. If we weren't diverting the 20,000 tons of material, this landfill would already be full. We're financially a separate entity within the city. We're charging people the absolute lowest price that we can charge. Trash should be treated just like any other utility, in that the more you are throwing away, the more you should pay. And just like water or electricity, people should be aware of how much they are using and that is going to affect how much they pay.
The streets department does everything for operations and maintenance in the streets, cleaning storm sewers, sweeping, painting, filling potholes, vegetation control. We have approximately 9 staff members within the streets department. They do concrete replacement, they do steel projects. We've replaced every fence in town that we own that was failing last year with steel. We clean all the culverts and inlets on I-70 and State Highway 82 and US 6 and 24 through town. We also maintain all of the lights along I-70, Highway 82, and US 6 and 24. We have a street infrastructure tax that's limited to an exact number basically every single year that goes up slightly with revenue increases, but the revenue increases actually don't increase as much as inflation in this valley, which is why we have street infrastructure tax conversations about every 15 or 20 years, because the inflation has outgrown the revenue source associated with it.
So from the engineering department, we work on quite a few things, from designing some projects in-house to reviewing grading and right-of-way permits, or looking at reports, overall studies, mapping of debris flow, stormwater. The engineering standards are essentially the rules and regulations for how we build in our community for developers and homeowners.
We do a lot of the capital planning projects, so future road projects, designed through construction. The engineering group also manages the transportation system. So that's our Ride Glenwood system, our traveler system. We review things for traffic impacts, for connectivity. One of the key components is linking up our neighborhoods with biking and pedestrian routes. Blake Street right now, we're reconstructing the whole road, adding a new sewer, a new storm system. Blake is going to serve as our main conduit on the east side of Glenwood Springs, and we're trying to re-envision Blake as a more pedestrian, biking-friendly route. And the main goal of the Southbridge project is to provide a secondary evacuation route, and then also to provide better biking and pedestrian connectivity. That's going to be a really big project, and it's going to be something that's going to be happening, for the next 3 or 4 years.
The budget, of course, is very important. We need to know how much money we have to spend, how much there is available, and be responsible with the citizens' money.
The main source of revenue the city gets is from a sales tax. So each dollar that's spent retail in the city gives the city 3.7% of sales tax. 1.5% of that goes to our general fund. 1% goes to our acquisition and improvement fund. 0.5% goes to our capital projects fund. 0.5% goes to our street tax fund. And 0.2% goes to our transportation fund. Streets have to be paid for by sales tax, along with almost everything else.
We do get money from property tax. It's about $3 million, but that is completely transferred to fund the fire department. So that does not go into the general operations of the city. General fund money is totally subsidized by sales and use tax. So our general fund this year for 2024 has already been approved. Our expenditures have been divided among about 15 different departments to do with rec and public safety, fire department, just general operating, human resources, finance, all the funds. It's a very thought out process to make sure that we're covering the essential needs of the community through these funds.
Even with all the departments we've touched on, there are more professionals working hard to serve our community. We're grateful to have dedicated staff in our city clerk's office, human resources, information technology. We have a municipal court. We operate our own fleet and our own community broadband network. Glenwood Springs is truly a full-service city, so we always have plenty to keep us busy.
Our city councilors also play an important role. The 7 folks who make up City Council are themselves Glenwood residents. City Council's role is to make legislation and provide direction to staff. So I hear from City Council a couple of times every month. We talk about a lot of things in depth. From that, I get to take away what Council is directing us to do and then work with staff to try to get it done as efficiently as we can. Luckily, we've got a lot of great community partners to help us. In total, the city's got 14 different volunteer boards and commissions, which residents and community members serve on. They really help us a lot, tackle things like housing, transportation, finance, recreation, and so many more things. We love our boards and commissions. They are genuinely on our side, and everybody's a subject matter expert. I'd really encourage people to apply for boards and commissions, run for council, get involved in the community. It's a tremendous place that we live, and the more help that we can get, the better. I'm so thankful for all of our staff across the organization. We so appreciate all the things they do in their passion. I'm really proud to be part of this organization.